Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode with me, Shashank Godappa. And in today's episode, we are going to review the changes that Bandhan Small Cap has done in the last 1 month. Now, we do this video every single month to understand what our DII is basically buying and if we can catch some kind of trend. And obviously, I'll do some research and understand if there are some insights into this. So, without wasting any more time, let's quickly jump into the video. And before we jump into the video, I request all of you guys if you could please click on the subscribe button because this would help our channel grow a lot. Thank you guys. Let's dive in. Now, Bandhan Small Cap is a crowd favorite because a lot of people kept telling me, Shashank, please review it. Please check whether it's good or bad. Now, Bandhan Small Cap in the last few months have done really well. Now, again, past performance does not mean future performance, but they have been killing it if I had to put it in mutual fund terms, right? Their top holdings, if you look at it from a weight standpoint, it is REC, Shoba, State Bank, Arvind, LT. Now, this is a small cap fund. Okay, so their concentration in small cap is 77.5% of their entire fund is basically small cap, and finance and banks are basically around 20% of this entire basket. That is what we are looking at right now. Now, coming to their position of what have the increases come into the picture, let me show you this. So if you look at this, they have taken new positions in almost 7 different companies. Now, what are these companies? One is Craftsman Auto, which is in the autocom space. One is Anlon, one is Hexagon, Dhanuka, Horizon, Bluestone, and JSW Infrastructure. So they have taken new entries into these companies, and obviously they're not very big weights. As you can see, the weightage is very small, but let's understand what these companies actually do. So if you look at Craftsman, it is an automotive company, and it's actually doing really well from because this came into my radar as well. It's doing really well from a stock price perspective because I look at a lot of momentum companies. It's actually been in very strong momentum since the last 5 years, right? I would only say, maybe if I had to ask maybe one negative about this company, I would say that the entry valuation is definitely not a ideal entry valuation at 63, but everything else pretty much looks decent. And if you look at this company, it has been on an absolute tear. Look at this. It started in 2021 at 1,500. Now it is sitting at 9,000, almost reached 10,000 in the last 4 years. So Craftsman Auto is really killing it in this space. And this is how the year-on-year return looks like with respect to Craftsman Auto, and Bandhan has basically come into this right now. If I look at the sales also are growing a lot. I don't know what this does actually, so let's try to see a little bit more into this. The company is a leading player in machining critical engine and transmission components, right? Okay, for medium and heavy commercial vehicles. That is interesting. So they're making powertrains here. Let me do one thing. You can check here as well. So diversified precision engineering, aluminum die cast products, right? Record revenue. Final dividend was also high. Board approved fundraising of 2,000 crores to repay debt. Let me check the debt. Peak execution earnings momentum plus active deleveraging. Oh, interesting. So if I actually look at the debt, let me see how much is the debt profile of this company. Wow, the debt is quite high. Let us check if it's long term. Yes. So they've actually raised 2,000 crores to reduce the long term borrowings. If that happens and they reduce the long term borrowings, then the interest cost, which is almost 309 crores per year, will basically disappear, and that will straight away jump into your profit after tax. So looks like it's very interesting right now, but obviously I need to do more research because one thing I don't like is that the promoter is constantly reducing stake from 59% to 42%, and DIIs have picked up stake from 12% to 32%. Good news is the public stake has gone down to 7%. That is a very good news, that this entire company is currently running with respect to the DIIs and FIIs. And if you see equity capital, you can see the dilution coming from 6 to 10 to 12. Obviously, this is because of the IPO, but it has gone up. The dilution has gone up. But I mean, I don't think the dilution has gone up so much with respect to the amount of revenue that they've actually kicked in, right? So I would say that is good. And if we actually look at Craftsman Auto, they are not just in India, they are also global. Financial performance, though, we know is good. Strategic expansion into Europe. And their aluminium products is where they get the most amount of money. As you can see here, 3,000 crores is coming from aluminium products. Now it's become 4,700. Powertrain has also gone up, but the most impact is coming from aluminium products. So we'll have to actually find out what are these aluminium products. This is powertrain. Okay, let's check if they have it as a separate thing. No, they don't have it here. Yeah, so it's here, aluminium products. So this is where they're getting most amount of revenue. So mobility, structural parts, other engineering parts, e-vehicle. Now what is confusing in this for me is because the whole automotive space blew up in the last 6 to 8 months because of the GST, right? But this company has been growing even before that. From 2021, this company is growing. In fact, in the middle, all the auto cars had a bad time also, bad quarters also. But this company has been constantly growing. That means something must be unique. So I will go do my own research after this. But this is why I like looking at what mutual funds are buying, because now I get a company that is interesting me, and now I want to go check, okay, what is happening with this company. 54% of the revenue in this aluminum space is coming from four-wheelers. I want to go and understand. I will read the con call to understand who are they actually supplying to, who are their customers. Because if it's like, let's say Toyota or Maruti or whatever, then I can understand that they are making good revenue because these guys are also selling good cars. Then I will go and check what is the car revenue coming from these people. If these guys are selling more cars, then I know that before this guy's result comes out, this guy has a very high chance of doing well. And he's also exporting. So I want to see what is the import and export. But yeah, this is why I basically go and do research about these companies and mutual funds, only because I want to get some new ideas, interesting ideas. Entry valuation, I would say, is not great, but this is why I do the research, right? They have bought another company called Anlon, engineering services for aviation, defense and infrastructure. SME company. Okay, I don't want to go close to SME. Unni Krishnan Nair family. Interesting. A Hexagon, Dhanuka Agritech, Agriculture, Horizon Reclaim, and Bluestone. So these are some of the country. Oh, and in JSW Infrastructure is what they have also added in this quarter. What have they exited? Let's check. They have exited 4 companies. JSW Energy Pay, they have taken a full exit. RR Cable, full exit. Fractal Analytics, which recently came out with an IPO, full exit. And Vedanta Iron and Steel, which had a demerger, again, full exit over here. What have they added? Now, this is very interesting. Now, adding is okay, but I want to see what is the delta of adding. I want to see how much weightage have they added. So basically, I want to see where they've added more. So May and June weights ke hisab se, I want to see what is the delta of weight added. So I can see here that the delta of weight added is very good only in the first company, which is this one. So Kirloskar Ferris is what they have increased with a good amount of quantity in this quarter. Everything else is a mild increase. Chola increase, General Insurance increase, State Bank increase. And if I go and look at what are the decreases is Rashi Peripherals. The Rashi obviously has been a great company. We have it in our small case as well. We just balanced it now. This has been flying because of the AI proxy boom. And because of all these GPUs are becoming expensive, Rashi became a very good advantage player over here. They've reduced Premier Engines, Bharat Coke. Arvind is another company we have. So they are actually reducing a lot in the companies we have in our small case basket. So Arvind again is a consumer play, doing really well. Astra DM reduced. South Indian Bank recently fell down a lot. So they've reduced that as well. Kirloskar Oil Engines, they've reduced. Again, has been a big winner for us. Shilpa Medicare, very interesting company. They've reduced a bit over here as well. So basically 7 buys, 4 exits, increased holdings and decreased holdings here, right? 90% is in equity, 10% is still in cash. Sorry, 91% is equity, almost 92, 10% or 8% is in cash. And if I want to see the top conviction bets they have taken, so they have added Fed Bank, Fedfina, gold backed NBFC by Federal Bank. Okay. I remember it was doing quite well in the past. It was in my favorite list, but then that whole cycle was playing very weird. I'll tell you why it was in my favorite list, because it was actually in a very good trending zone and it had given an all-time high breakout, but now it's just stuck there. And it has the pedigree of Federal Bank, which I know is a good bank. It is not a very bad bank. So very interesting over there. Apart from that, Inox Wind they have added. EPL was largest plastic tube maker. SL Propack. General Insurance. I'm only going to look at interesting ones. Chola is interesting. Chola is very interesting. That I think is a very good. Inox Wind, let's check. So they're picking a lot of interesting wind energy, and they exited JSW Energy and they took in Inox Wind over here, which is actually falling a lot. So that means a lot of DII buying is happening here. For some reason, a lot of DII buying is happening on Inox Wind. Right. Apart from that, they have increased stake in EPL. 18.5 P ratio looks quite interesting from this angle. Kirloskar Ferris is what they've increased the most. Let's check that. Kirloskar brothers have been doing really well, right? We have Kirloskar Oil in one of our small cases and that has been doing really well. Kirloskar Ferris is currently in a downtrend, which basically makes pig iron. So they have started buying positions into this. That means something might change, something might happen. Not sure, but we'll have to keep a track of basically how this goes, right? Now, again, when I do a read like this, what I try to understand is what are some interesting companies. Definitely Craftsman is something that I'm going to go back and do some research on. And look, this Bandhan Small Cap has been growing very fast. Even for a small cap company, their AUM has been growing very fast. Obviously, the returns have also been, similarly good. But I think now their AUM has reached almost 28,000 crores. So So they are reaching a point where AUM becomes their biggest enemy, right? Nippon India Small Cap, same problem is happening where AUM has become their biggest enemy, and we're seeing a similar approach happening with Bandhan Small Cap. But very interesting. I'm going to start reading about this even more, and I'm going to try to learn as much as I can. But again, if you had any doubts, any questions, put in the comment section below. But if you learned something today, then click on the subscribe button. I will really enjoy it. Okay, thank you guys. Take care. See you. Bye bye.